think there is a need or even a room for a third stock exchange when we already have two well-established ones?
Whichever region you may see or area if every country is having a stock exchange and regions are having multiple stock exchange, you definitely need multiple players. Reason for multiple players is always that you will have better services, you will have lower cost, you will be able to be more innovative. I know it's MSE's win is at the turn.
Hello and welcome to the Statesman Talk. I'm Ananya Dasgupta. On this episode, we are joined by Latika Kundu. She's the MD and CEO of the MSE, the Metropolitan Stock Exchange, which is the youngest stock exchange in India. Latika Kundu, thank you so much for joining us on Statesman
Thank you.
Talk.
Thank you, Ananya.
First and foremost, what exactly is the MSE, the Metropolitan Stock Exchange?
Metropolitan Stock Exchange is the third stock exchange. It's a national stock exchange, similar to the other two stock exchanges, NSE and BSE, and it it has licenses across the equity derivatives, currency derivatives, and debt segments. From SEBI, it is of course licensed by SEBI, and it is the first line regulator. So basically, it provides a platform to the market to come in and be able to buy and sell products in the asset classes it is permitted to. So similar, if I speak about the equity cash segment, so you can come on the platform of the Metropolitan Stock Exchange, MSE for short, and you can buy and sell your stocks as you do at any other platform, and this is the part of creation of markets, that is.
Why do you think there is a need or even a room for a third stock exchange when we already have two well-established ones?
Well, according to me, there's scope for many more. A third one is very much needed to come in. Reasons being many, that when you are looking at a market from, if we look at the multiple spaces from where you really need to cover markets, that is, one is growth of the economy. Two is we are the largest democracy of the world. We are the youngest. We are under 30. We are one of the most agile, and we know that for reaching a certain space, the capital market helps generate wealth. So there are many more reasons which can go beyond just the country reasons, because globally every region or country has multiple exchanges. If you see the America, whether you see Europe, whichever region you may see or area, because India itself is, each state is like a country.
Yes.
So if you can imagine that if every country is having a stock exchange and regions are having multiple stock exchange, and it is not limited to one or two, it is in abundance. Reason being that each one helps investor to reach a multiple set of platforms. There is a de-risking. There is ensuring that it's not only diversity, it's also taking care of the risk that could be coming onto a platform. So you will not concentrate at one place. On the other hand, if we look at another industry, not just the exchange space or a market infrastructure institution space, which we get classified under as an MII. So you see the telecom, you see any other space, right, which is an infrastructure space, you definitely need multiple players. Reason for multiple players is always that you will have better services, you will have lower cost, you will be able to be more innovative. When there's competition, there is innovation. So instead of a monopolistic or a duopolistic market, you should have healthy competition whereby the entire market benefits. It is about the final investor. Finally, it is always about, I would look at how it helps country, how does it help, who is it for, who is the market for, why are you creating a marketplace? You're creating it for the investor. So it must help and benefit that final investor. So that is where when capital formation happens, where are you going to go to? You are going to come to one of these exchanges. The more there are, the more options you have. Whether you look at it from a company's point of view that needs to raise funds, or from an investor point of view, it helps both ways. So that is why the benefit and these markets, because these are transparent exchange platforms, they have transparency on them. And you can actually see the prices, you can see orders which are coming in, you can actually see where your bid is lying, where your ask is lying, whether you're on the buy side or the sell side of the market, and what is your anticipation on that. So whether you're doing a spot market, which is in the cash, or you move to a derivatives market, which is talking about the futures and options of the market. So it allows each type of investor to come in. It could be any category of investor that may want to come in.
Right, you're talking about healthy competition, of course. Most companies are listed on BSE or NSE.
Yeah.
What is your strategy now to get larger companies now listed on the MSE as well?
Every new platform brings with it new challenges and also brings with it goodness. I spoke of a few things that additional platforms, why they are required, and why it will help companies to come in, new or old. When we're talking about listing, I think you're talking more about which are already existing companies.
Yes.
And there is always a new bunch of companies which is going to get listed. So they're two different halves of the full story. And while the existing companies, the benefit they will get is they will help their investors to have the multiple platforms. If they prefer reaching out at a platform, then they know that they can go there and they can trade, they will get information more easily, and that benefit lies with them. Though of course the act already allows, just like when NSE came in 30 years back, they were allowed to have companies as permitted to trade category, and they could have for trading. But then of course the information flow, that's where you want that it becomes even more seamless, and companies are more connected. So why not? There is no harm, there is no downside. It is the same set of compliances, it is the same set of norms to be which are carried out for even the all the exchanges. It is similar, it is all under the same umbrella of the regulator. So it makes sense that you just give that benefit to your investor by listing on all the platforms which are allowing trading of these. It's like you will not go necessarily only to one place to pick something, right, over another constantly, because you'll say, okay, fine, maybe I'll get a better offering elsewhere.
So my range of options goes up.
Sorry?
My range of options
Yes,
goes up.
yes, of course,
Yes.
of course. For the investor, it is always the benefit.
So you've successfully raised 1,000 crore in funding recently. What's the timeline and strategy to kick off services to deepen market liquidity?
So while our services are already on, but what we're looking at is enhancing our services. We are working on our infrastructure as well as our complete member reach, and those two activities are going on in parallel. What we are, of course, clearly looking at is starting with the equity cash, because that is the base underlying asset, and to have the prices, spot prices there on the platform, which will then follow up with the derivatives market in the following months from once we start. So yes, so by before the turn of the year, we will see equity cash kick in, and followed by the derivatives market.
Wonderful. Can you walk us through the journey of the Metropolitan Stock Exchange? Its history, some of its setbacks maybe, and now the revival strategy, and who are some of your key investors?
So we are the youngest. We are the youngest exchange. We are proud of that, and proud because that keeps us agile. And we started in 2008 only with the currency segment, and right within the first quarter, we were number one in the currency segment, and we did, so we did very well. Every corporate, every exchange does go through its upheavals and down. I mean, that's a journey, right? That till you don't hit the pits of the valleys, you don't reach up the peaks of the
Surely.
mountains. And so, yes, it has been that ride for the exchange. And I keep telling everyone, our MSEpreneurs, which is our employees, we call them as MSEpreneurs. I said there's a very good reason why through the ups and downs we have made it well, and that is because there is some further up summit which is yet to be hit on, and with that we definitely are working on it right from 2020. Since I joined as CEO of the exchange, we have been relentlessly working on pushing back on our challenges in a way that they are take addressed in a right way, and the foundation that we have created is strong, and now we're ready to build on that foundation. So we know that from here onwards it will be a journey. Yes, challenges will keep coming, different types of challenges will come, but it will be a journey which will be moving up.
You use the term MSEpreneurs. What's the work and culture ethic like at MSE that sets it apart?
The two key pillars at MSC is discipline and integrity. These are non-compromisable, and every MSCpreneur knows that we need to go the long haul. And when you want to go the long haul, you will, stand on those two key pillars, which is supported by a third key pillar, which is respect for each other. So whether it is internal, whether it is external, we will ensure that we safeguard these three strong pillars which are there of discipline, integrity, and respect. Uh, the key ethos that drives us is MSC first. So why MSC first? It is not about what number. It is about when we define policies, because there are many times, of course, because it's a market structures have evolved. We have seen market structures evolving, regulatory structures evolving, product structures evolving, because without that, market will not grow. So whenever we are working on any of the aspects, we ensure that we first think of where MSC needs to reach. And as per that, we need to lead our points based on that, so that we are able to move in that discipline, that integrity at all points of time, to ensure that it is that institutional thought and that institutional ethos that is kept beyond all.
Right, that's about your people power. I also believe you are building a state of the art data center. How will it enhance your technological edge?
Well, whether you say it's latecomers, or you call it as an advantage that comes in when you come in at a certain point with a clean slate. So now that we are building, we are ensuring that what we will provide finally to the market and market participants will be the latest in terms of the data center setup, whether it is in terms of the racks capacity or it is in terms of the power capacity. So that is exactly what we are looking to provide to our members as well as the market participants.
India is aiming to become a $5 trillion economy. What role do you see capital markets playing in this transformation?
Well, I'm sure India will move to 10 and 30 finally in, the
Fingers
Viksit
crossed.
Bharat. Yes, yes, which is the dream of the country. And that to lead to that, we definitely need a very, we need more inclusive. We need to have many more people part of the capital markets. Today, we are still less than 5% of persons who are in some way associated, partially participating or fully participating in the capital markets. Whereas in developed countries, this ratio is far larger. They may come in directly or indirectly. Mostly they come in indirectly. And as the market matures, you see that there are many instruments in the markets that do come in, and they allow for small, retail, institutional, corporates, any HNI, I mean multiple types of investors to come in and participate through them. So education, that is one very key thing,
Yes.
because responsible investing is a very, very important thing. We are a country which has known saving for centuries. We need to move towards wealth creation. A few have, but there's a big, large chunk out there. We are the largest democracy, closing on to 1.5 billion. So obviously that, and we are English speaking, we are mobile savvy. We are the youngest. We are around 28
Absolutely.
years old. Our age of our current investors is around 30. So that means the potential investors are even slightly younger. So when we see that entire combination that we have here, we definitely need to fuel it with a lot more things, which of course includes education in a big way, and also the trust. Trust is a very big factor. It allows, if I trust a certain player or I trust the market as a whole, it is not about a single person, but it is about the market as a whole. I trust my bank. Till date, I have been trusting my banks, which is a great thing. And that's why when, generations before us have been placing fixed deposits, it is because of that trust. They know that it is not going to.
Yeah.
So, the same way, capital markets will need to ensure we create that trust in our final investors, so that they will come to this market. They will invest, but they will invest responsibly. And that is why education is also required. And that is a combination of these two things, which will actually allow many other things to come along with it, and products, asset classes. So it's not about saying equity is one. Yes, it is. But if we see globally, there are many more asset classes. Debt is another very big, very big,
Yes.
your play. And that is also how you can fundraise. There is a whole lot of companies. We have so many. Indians have a very intelligent mind, and we by nature want to do something ourselves. So there are many self-starters, many entrepreneurs. Many of them have turned into unicorns. Many of them are reaching out. Many of them are across the layers of the strata. They are not at just tier one.
True.
Or if I may say India one. They are at a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, which does get classified in some way as an India 2 or an India 3. And some people do. I mean, I cannot say I have termed it, but yes, when I've heard this, that there are different Indias. Why there's so many Indias within an India? Because of the stratas in which the India rests, besides the geographies in which it rests, besides the cultures through which it rests.
Sure.
And that is why there's a multiplay that is very much required today, which is yet to happen. So that is why this, it's not just about the 5 trillion. We're looking at what the 30. We're looking at, reaching up there, because India is at its global play today.
That's long-term vision. You've had over 2 decades now in the exchange industry. From
3.
3 decades? I correct myself. 3 decades in the exchange industry. Wow. So, what's the biggest change you've seen in how the markets have evolved?
The reason I came into the markets was when it got electronic. So that was the first turning point we saw, moving from open outcry to electronic markets. And I still remember I started with my summer intern, at MSE, and I said, okay, let's see what this is all about. And I just could never leave the market, because I realized that this is a place where you can help build. You're actually creating a market. You are at a place that's why it's MII, Market Infrastructure Institution. Exchanges are one of those, and there are clearing houses and depositories which are also part of that. And this allows you, and I had the opportunity to be part of each one of these institutions within India and Singapore, and it has been really, I consider myself fortunate that I've been able to go through those different asset classes. But the bigger play was always, the bigger thing that always kept on was that if we can help create something wider, bigger, reach out to the final mile. Let the final investor benefit, because what is it that they're actually benefiting from? They are going to benefit from the fine pricing, because this is what the platform is known for: price discovery, transparency, trust, fairness, equitable access. So building, something that is so expansive and which just doesn't end, you just can't stop, just continue and try to create as many spaces. I started the equity, moved to currency, then to commodities, then to a spot commodity exchange, which was in 2015 unheard of. Now, of course, with blockchain and new technology coming in, we see that that play will be definitely a very different play. So there's just so much to do in this space that
I
it
get a
just keeps
sense.
you going.
I get
It
a
is.
sense of your driving force. Yes, certainly. Uh, you've recently been reappointed as MD and CEO of the MSE. In fact, you've got for another 3 years.
Yeah.
What does this mean personally now to you?
I would say more than the role, it's more about continuing with what I love to do. And yes, at this juncture allows me to spend more time with MSC to allow it to move to its next level of the journey of its glory, and to be able to set it, into the space it should be, and become a proper formidable competition into the marketplace, which will be able to bring in more and more investors, more products, more asset classes, so that India can, actually finally give to the world and say, here, this is what we have. We have this much too, because there'll be many, many more exchanges, I'm sure, in the future. It will not stop at this number. It will definitely go far more than this.
Anyone watching this, I'm sure, will have that one question which I've been waiting to ask you. What are the challenges that you would have faced as a woman leader in this male dominated world of financial exchanges?
Well, I I consider myself lucky, and I also would say that yes, there are normal, challenges which, because it's not about, and I tell this to all women who have worked with me, whether or not I faced it or not, but I know from everyone whom I have also interacted with, that you need to balance. For a woman, it's always balancing both, your personal as well as your professional life. Professional life doesn't go on, in a separate zone. It actually, because it's one life. You are one life, and you're one human being. So, but your balance between the two, you planning it all, of course, without the support from family, from friends, from colleagues, and probably also your own inner motivation, which needs to be higher. That is a fact. Because I know of many women who used to probably wake up at 5 in the morning and be in office before 9, and they also finish cooking and kids and everything, and between all of that and the commute, and it can be a challenge. So my reach out to everyone, beyond women, to everyone, is that, you know why can't everyone just help in? It's not necessarily only a woman home job, or kids is not just for women. It is for everyone to come together. So I would take it more as a person. From a person perspective, I know there are some families where the women are the ones who are more ambitious, and the men prefer taking care of the home.
Yes.
So I feel that we have to move beyond one step beyond that, and say it's okay if I really want to do something. But yes, on the more serious note, and what is really put down there, you have to be very planned. You have to be very organized. You have to be on top of your game, because you are wearing that multiple hats. And 30 years back, it was definitely a different mindset than what it is today. So yes, you have to juggle between your family, between your kids, between everything, and between the work. And also at the same time, so if you can learn to just say, yes, I have given it, and also keep a calm. But that is for everyone. But for women more so, because they are always constantly doing this
juggling.
Yes, and especially working mothers.
Hmm.
Working mothers have I feel a very different challenge altogether. So somewhere there's a innate guilt. I still remember telling my husband every Sunday evening, I think I'm going to put in my papers. I mean, no one would probably expect for me to, everybody's like, you're so ambitious. But, even I am a mother and I went through that. So it is a challenge. So I'm not saying it necessarily it's only in office, but it is a combination of the two.
You said it's been a 30-year journey for you. What's the biggest lesson that you've drawn in this journey, especially in financial exchanges?
There must be many, but I think one of the key life lessons I would say is always learn, unlearn, and relearn. I mean, I remember telling my teams all through my journey, at least for the last 20 years, I said, if you know how to learn, unlearn, and relearn, you've, you've arrived.
And I think that applies to everyone.
Yeah, that applies to everyone.
But what about the young professionals, students who are looking to enter the market space? What advice would you give them today?
Market space as investors or as
Could be anything, but
Okay.
this is just the broader domain that they want to be in.
So I think it's very important that you must read, you must keep yourself updated, uh, you must not just go by what someone else may be telling you, because each one's journey is very personal for multiple reasons. You have your own financial status, you have your own family status, you have your own dependency status, right? And you have your own mindset as to where your growth path should be. So don't necessarily just go by what you hear or what someone else may tell you. Please spend some time, or then if you're doing it yourself, otherwise then go to a professional and take help, but make sure that professional is certified, is able to give you that advice, which would be responsible.
I think what you're saying is you must have the ability to think independently for yourself.
Absolutely, yeah, you must. That is either ways. That is either ways. But there's no harm in even like there are many things we take professional help for. If you didn't know how to file your taxes, you went to a chartered accountant and you said, "Please help me and file my taxes." So the same way, you can go to a market expert who is registered, who is having that, or a mutual fund, and tell them, "Okay, help me. Go help me with entering into the markets."
Last question for you. What's your next goal, both personally and for MSE?
Well, I'm just, I know it's MSC's win is at the turn. I know it's there, and I would love to see it in my term for it to happen. But either ways, I'll be happy, because that would give me the sense that I at least help create that foundation that has been able to reach that space. Because finally, your inner calling is what calls you the most. And I often say that, I say, when you hope for something, the whole universe does conspire
To make it happen.
happen. I strongly believe in that. And I believe that MSC's goals are very much, there to happen. So it will be a strong competitor. It will be a formidable player, and it will create a very healthy market.
I wish you all the very best. It was so nice talking to somebody so determined and in such a high leadership position. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Ananya.
That's it then on this episode of the Statesman Talk. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and post your comments on what you thought of this episode as well. We come to you from The Statesman, which is one of India's oldest English newspapers.